All right, here we go. Question number 24 is our first one, and it has a star next to it, which means it is a calculator problem. So, find the growth constant, for a strain of bacteria. All right, this is going to require a formula. I will provide you with the same formulas I gave you last, for your last test. What formula do we need for number 24? Herd. I'll give it to you, but you probably already have it memorized. All right, so 386 grow into 1025. So remember, this right here is the end number. This is the start number. I don't know R, but I know time is 3.8. What do I do first? Here, pay attention. This is an exam question. All these are. Okay, what do I need to do first? Divide by 386. Now pay attention to where that variable is. Look, it's up here. What does that always mean when it's up here? I'm going to need logarithms. So ln, I'll use that kind of logarithm. ln is a logarithm, but it's a special kind of logarithm. So ln is fraction equals, now these cancel, that's why you picked ln. That was a good thing to do. And then we'll divide by 3.8. So I'll type it in. And I got it doesn't really say how to round, so I'll just do 1,000. 2,257. Oh, it does say that? Oh yeah, so I did it right. Okay, 1,257. Thank you. All right, everybody okay with that one? 25, write the equation of the line through these 2 points. All right, what do I do first when I'm writing the equation of a line? Find the slope. And to find the slope, I do y minus y over x minus x. This is a free response question. If you miss the slope, you're getting half off. Bingo, done. I'm not messing with that. The slope is y minus y over x minus x. We should know that, right? So what's my slope? Looks like it's 2. So now what do I do? Pick a point, either one. I'll use this one right here because I don't want to mess with negatives, so I just use that. Doesn't make any difference. Pick whichever one you want. Y minus 11 equals 2 x minus 3. So y minus my y equals 2 times x minus my x. So y minus 11 equals 2x minus 6. 2x plus 5? Does that seem about right? Simplify. Number 26, simplify. What do you think I'm going to do here? Just look at the problem. What does it look like you're going to have to do? Foil it. So first times first, outsides, insides, and lasts. So what do you think you do after you get it all foiled? combined like terms, so clearly these two combined, that makes 2i. Now you gotta remember something though. What do we need to remember?
I squared
I squared equals negative 1. I squared is negative 1. So what happens if I squared is negative 1? What happens when we have negative 2 times negative 1?
2.
We get 2. And now we can add those and end up with our answer, which is 14 plus 2i. So we're going to FOIL that problem, and we're going to remember that I squared is negative 1, right? Find the total cost, this is another calculator problem. Find the final cost of an item if there's a 20% discount, a 7% tax, and the original price is $32.50. So I'm going to write down $32.50, and I'm going to make 2 adjustments to that. One adjustment is a 20% discount. So discounts are minuses. So I'm going to subtract 20%. And then taxes are add-ons, so I'm going to add 7%. Would you agree with that? Now, this is like a decay constant. It's shrinking. So if you're taking away 20%, what are you keeping? 80. So 0.80, that's what I'm keeping. If I'm gaining a 7%, then what's my growth constant there? Not 0.07, 1.07. Remember, it's 1 minus 20, 1 plus 7. It's always 1 something. Minus if it's a takeaway, plus if it's an add-on. And then we just multiply. So 32.5 times 0.8 times 1.07. I got $27.82 as the final cost. Alrighty. Now, even if you don't know what to do, how to solve this, you know how to start. Look at that problem. What do you think you're going to do to get started? Factor it. It seems like half the problems on the test we start by factoring. Factor it. So how does this one factor? Minus 7 plus 1, very good. Now, does anybody happen to remember how we proceed from this point? It's got an inequality. Every time we have an inequality, what do? Draw a number line. And we're going to do some shading. But first, I have to put dots on my number line. They will be open dots. And where will the dots be? 7 and negative 1. Make sure you put them in order. Now is it starting to ring some bells? What do you think you do now? If you, okay, so one option is to pick a number. Not negative 1 or 7, but any other number. If you remember, greater than, when there's 2 dots on the number line, what does greater than always mean? Outside. So if you remember that, you can go ahead and shade. It's the outside pieces. If you forget that, because there's a lot to remember, then you're going to do what Brandon said. You're going to pick a number. What number do you want? 8. So he's picking a number right here. When he puts 8 in, he gets 1 times 9. Is 1 times 9 bigger than 0? So he would shade there. And remember what happens with our shaded sections? Remember how they alternate? So if you remember that, then you'll say, okay, it worked, it didn't work, and it worked. So there's my areas. If you don't remember that, then you're gonna do exactly what Brennan did, but pick another number and another number to determine your shading. So then we write our answer. Our answer is everything from negative infinity to negative 1. Remember, this is negative infinity on this end. Or everything from 7 to positive infinity. That's what we shaded. Okay, next one is another calculator problem. How much 15% orange juice should be mixed with 18 gallons of 20% orange juice to get a mixture that is 16% orange juice?
Just the amount times
Yep.
percent.
So our format is amount times percent plus amount times percent equals amount times percent. Remember, on free response especially, write down anything you can remember. Even if you don't know how to finish the problem, write down anything you can remember so that you can get some partial credit. If you leave it blank, I can't do anything for you, right? Okay, so what do I know? I should know some percentages at least. So what are my percentages? 15%, 20%, and 16%. When it starts out with how much, don't we usually just put an X right there? That's what we're looking for, how much of that. And then there's always one other number they gave me. What's the other number they gave me? 18. And the 18 goes with the 20, so it goes right here. So then I always have to fill in that extra one. There's always one extra. When it's over here, I fill it in by adding these two amounts. Isn't that what's happening? Aren't I adding these two to get that one? So that's going to be 18 plus X or X plus 18, whatever order you want to do it.
If it was the other way, like if the
It'd
18.
be 18 minus X.
No, I mean like if the
Here.
18 plus X was right there, yeah.
That wouldn't be 18. This could be the 18, and then this is going to be 18 minus X.
Yep.
All right, so 0.15X plus 18 times 0.2 is 3.6 equals 18 times 0.16 is 2.88 plus 0.16X. All I'm doing is multiplying, distributing, whatever, in order to solve this equation that I have made. So I'll subtract this X over. I'm showing every step. You do not have to. I'm showing every step so that we get the right answer. You don't have to show every step. Certainly you can do some of this together. So now I'm going to subtract 2.88. And I have a calculator, so I'm letting my calculator help me when I need it to, or want it to. And then I'll divide. So I got gallons, 72 gallons. All right, looks familiar. Number 30, simplify. All right, let's start on the inside. inside, there's a lot in here. Let's start in there and see what we can do inside there. So what about the 3 and the 4? Is there anything to do with those? No. Okay, what about our X's? Drop the 3 down, but there's already 5 down there, so now there's gonna be 8. Okay, what about the Y's? You got 7 on the top and 2 on the bottom. So they're lopsided. You have more on the top, right? How many more are up there? 5. So we got y to the 5th on top. And then look at the z's. Now be careful here, because what's going to happen to the z's? They're actually going to both switch. So you're going to have 5 of them on the top and 2 of them on the bottom, which means ultimately you're going to have 3 on the top. Now we have to square everything, right? So that includes the 3 and the 4, so that's going to be 9 and 16. Then what do we do with exponents? Don't square the exponent. You're taking y to the 5th to the 2nd. Multiply. So that's y to the 10th, z to the 6th, x to the 16th. The exam has 1 property question on it. 1. And it is multiple choice. Alright, so I've got 4 here to practice, but there's only 1. And the one it is will be one of the ones we're practicing here, alright? So, anybody remember what is A? The first property. What's happening there? They switched. And when the order changes, what property is that? Commutative. That's the commutative property of addition. When the order changes, it's commutative. So when you get your exam and you look at the property question, if the order changed, then you're going to circle commutative. Right? All right, B, what's happening there? Distributive. C. What'd you say? Well, it has a name. It's the additive identity. It's the additive identity. Yep, when you add 0, you get the identical thing back again. That is the additive identity. And then D, what's going on there? Look carefully. Did the order change? Are the numbers in a different order? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are the numbers in a different order? No, it's 431, 431. What changed? The association, the grouping. That's the associative property. If the order changes, numbers are physically in a different order, then it's commutative. If the grouping changed, then it is associative, right? So some review there. All right, 32. Your exam looks exactly like this. Whole page is the box problem. Good news is all the box problems are done exactly the same way. So, our paper down there at the bottom, the paper is 15 by 11. We're cutting out the corners that are X big. Picture's already drawn for you. Write an expression for the volume of the box. And then it says it doesn't need to be in standard form. That means you don't have to multiply it out. Leave it the same way we've left it every time we've done it. Okay? Who remembers, how do we write the equation for the volume of that box? Ed, you better know this because we just did one.
15 minus 2x.
15 minus 2x.
11 minus 2x.
11 minus 2x.
And x.
And x. Dimension, remember the paper was 15 by 11. So it's dimension minus 2x. There's two sides to the box. Dimension minus 2x times x, the height. Length times width times height. That is what your equation is going to look like every time. These numbers are going to be different. But if it's 10 by 12, 10 minus 2x, 12 minus 2x, x. Never changes. Okay, if you miss that, you're not prepared. Because there's nothing to know except it looks like this every time. Now, what about domain? That's the next question. Domain is, tell me about the size of x. What's the littlest and the biggest, or in an interval like this, what is the littlest and the biggest that x can be?
0 and 15.
The littlest is always 0. Always 0. Every problem, that's going to be 0. And then,
Isn't the biggest half of the biggest?
actually, it's half of the smallest number. So the smallest number is 11, and half of 11 is 5.5. You have a calculator, so 11 divided by 2. That's the domain of the problem. So one more time, where did these numbers come from? When it says domain, where did these numbers come from? That one is always a 0, and this one is always half of whichever one of these numbers is smaller. Now, label the window. So now you're going to graph on your calculator, but before you graph, you're going to set up x min, x max, y min, and y max on your on the paper. You're going to put it in your calculator, but you're going to tell me what they are. Okay? See these two right here? You already figured them out. Aren't these your big and little x right here? So x min is going to be 0 and x max is going to be 5.5. Y min is always 0 because y stands for volume. Volume can't be negative, right? So that's always going to be 0. Anybody remember what we do with y max? We take a guess, pick a number, and it might need to be changed. We can change it. We're doing it in pencil, we can change it. So what do you want to pick? 300? All right, let's try 300. So I'm going to go set up my window. Everybody should be doing this right now. I don't care how tired and bored you are, everybody should be doing this. Go to your window, set it up just like this. Those are the only numbers you should be messing with. Leave everything else the same. Then type in this equation, so go to y equals, and type in the equation with the parentheses. And hit graph. Oh, 300 was a good guess. Why do I say 300 was a good guess?
So we can see the top.
I can see the top. Your goal is to find the maximum, guys. Isn't the maximum the highest point? So we need to be high enough in our picture to see the highest point, and 300 is. There are other numbers. There's nothing special about 300. But it's a good number because it shows me the top of the hill. Okay? Now, where do I go from here now? I have to actually find that point. So who remembers? Second calc maximum. And then left bound, so we move our cursor over here somewhere. And press enter. And then right bound, we move our cursor somewhere over here. And press enter. And then put it in between. And that is 2.09, comma, 154.23. That's what I got as my maximum. Anybody else get that? I am not doing it for you on the exam. Please do not just copy mine down. Type it in yourself. Make sure you're getting those numbers.
Does it matter where we round to?
It'll tell you on the test. D does. D says to the nearest 100. So yeah, I rounded correctly to the 100. Okay? Anybody else get this right here for your maximum point? Okay, so that's C. I've graphed, I've labeled, filled in my maxes and mins. Now, what D says, what size notch should I cut out to maximize the volume? Now remember, the notches are the X's. So what are you gonna say for answer D? The answer to D is going to be 2.09 inches. So D will be 2.09 inches. That's the size of the notch. So we have now done every single exam problem. So what I want to do at this moment is, I want to do another one of these. I'm on the other packet, the review 2 thing here. But all that changes is the size of the paper, the picture's the same, the format of everything is the same. But the paper now is going to be 20 by 16. So we're doing another box problem. We're going to go through all the steps. So I know my equation is going to be what? If my paper is 20 by 16, it's going to be 20 minus 2x, 16 minus 2x, and then x. That will never change. That's how it's going to be. The order doesn't matter. If you did 16 first, that's fine. 16 minus 2x, 20 minus 2x, that doesn't matter. So now tell me about my domain. Notice I left the 0 there because that never changes. The minimum, x minimum, is always going to be 0. What's my maximum for this piece of paper? 8. Half of the smallest dimension.